Hi guys, so I can't believe I'm saying this, but my book, The Girl Behind the Glass, is out a week today. Um, I can't wait. I scheduled the paperback for release last night and the hardback. I didn't even know that was a thing you could really actually properly do until last night. So I found it, I scheduled it, I sorted it out. I've got my proof copy, which I keep looking at. I've got it on my bookshelves over there so that when I feel like it, I can just have a little look and just sort of remind myself what's actually happening. I've been buzzing this entire the last few weeks because of it. I can't wait for it to come out. I'm so excited. So it's like my stepson's birthday today. So I think we're gonna have some chill out times and maybe get takeaway tonight. We usually get takeaway pizza when there's a birthday. Um, so, but yeah, so next week, Saturday, 14th, October 14th. So if you like books that have witchy things going on, mages, lots of ghostly elements to it, stepsisters. So like there's Princess Frost is the Snow White character, and because it's a retelling of Snow White, and she has a stepsister. So it's like the stepsister kind of been living in this tiny little city called Cranwick, and she's like stuck there. She's been stuck there her entire life with her best friend as her cousin. Her dad is the mayor of the city. So he rules all of it. He controls everything, but he's also controlled by the witches. So the witches rule everything, and because there was a witch was killed by a previous mayor about 200 years ago. Um, they ever since they have just been trapped, and they can't leave Cranwick. If they try to leave, like there's no exits or entrances, and the only way out or in are through the mirrors in the city. So like any mirror that you can sort of like stumble across. But the annoying thing about the mirrors, what Winnie finds out is that they are controlled by the witches. So if you do try to like step through them or use them as their portals that they are, then you'll find yourself trapped with the witches. So Winnie hears of in the beginning of the story. She unfortunately, like the first line is I never meant to kill the witch. So she that's not exactly a spoiler, like it does happen straight away. She accidentally kills one of their witches. And it, like I said, it is an accident. She gets into a bit of an argument with one of them by mistake, while trying to follow her mum around, because her mum has been sneaking out and doing very suspicious things. So she's following her. She's at Pride Festival with her best friend Barchester, who's actually her cousin, who lives next door, and he's like the big part of the family, but they're like best friends, you know. So she follows the mum through the mirror when the mum actually goes. But at the very, very start, it's where she's at Pride Festival. She's following her mum and trying to work out like what her mum is doing. Um, she accidentally kills the witch while in a bit of an altercation with her. She's the witch that's been talking to her mum through the mirror. So that's all the start of it. So she ends up kind of having to. She watches like a chat between her parents about that her mum is gonna have to go and she's gonna have to marry this Winter King. So you have the four kingdoms on the other side of Cranwick. So Cranwick is like this tiny little. It's called the Mirror Village, but it's a city. It's like it's just the name that it had when it was first created, and it's kind of like a nickname because it's actually a city now. It's grown a lot more. Um, so it's kind of between the four kingdoms. So you have the seasonal kingdoms, so like spring, summer, autumn, winter, and Icefall is the winter kingdom, which is where the Snow White character lives. And so around the same time, you have both Winnie, who's the daughter, and Princess Frost, who's the Snow White character. They're stepsisters, and they're on the other side of the glass. If you see where the title is, and they're trying to like, well, and Winnie ends up following her mum on the way. She ends up at the wedding. She's not supposed to be at the wedding to the new stepfather, so the new Winter King. And this is all because Winnie's mother gave her heart away to the witches as like a sacrifice, because the only way you can get out of Cranbrook is by giving something to the witches as part, you know, if you end up in their portals. So you don't always get trapped, but you'll have to give something to them if you want to leave, something that's worth their while. So they are hoping to save Icefall, because it's by giving them pretend riches. And I don't want to say too much, but that's like how the story opens up, if you know what I mean. So at the same time, you have Winnie's opening, so how she ends up in Icefall and kind of is trapped, and then you have the Snow White character on the other side, and she's also suspicious about her new stepmother, which is Winnie's mother. So she has been courting the father, so coming every evening and spending time with him and strengthening their courtship. I think it was one of the lines I used. So that's kind of how it goes, and then obviously they end up together, and then unfortunately the wedding night, as you know from the story, is where things all go wrong when then she becomes the new Winter Queen, and things start to go downhill for both of Winnie and Princess Frost. So that is like how the story opens up, and I'm not going to say any more because then there would be spoilers and I might ruin it. But yeah, so the book is out next week. It's been available for pre-order for a couple of months now, but I scheduled the paperback, and the hardback is just processing, but will probably be scheduled soon as well. It just says scheduled for review. I didn't even know. I think this is a new thing they're beta testing, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, we'll just see how it goes, but I'm really, really excited about it. I don't know what I'm going to do on my release day, because when I did Steel Princess, which is over there somewhere on the shelf, as you can see, last year I went to Willen, which was a nice place that I like to write, and I sat in the cafe and I just did some writing there. So I don't know what I'm going to do with my release day for The Girl Behind the Glass, which is Saturday next week. So I'll think of something. I might end up trying to get my sister to hang out with me or something. I might go back to Willen, or I might try somewhere else, because I do spend a lot of time at Willen because my gym is there now, and I've gone to that cafe quite a lot of times now, so I might try and find somewhere else to go or something to do, but without spending too much money is the plan. But thanks guys for my little chat, and I hope if you do read this, you enjoy it. And please give me a review if you do read it. And of course, you've also got Steel Princess still available, which is also on Kindle Unlimited and on Amazon in general. And that one is a slightly futuristic fantasy with an evil robot queen. So very much inspired by fairy tales, but not quite fairy tales. But this is the first book in a series of retellings in the same world. So so there will be lots of other retellings, lots of other characters. There's some characters that have been brought into this that you'll start to probably realise like who they are by what their family is like. So like there's a few characters that are introduced at the ball from the other kingdoms, and they are obviously going to have their own stories. So if you can work that out, then that might be a cool thing, and then you can see if you are proved right when those stories later come out. But this is just the first. This is also the first book in a duology, and then I'll have lots of other like linked stories set in the same world with characters all sort of like intertwining into different parts of the world and different. That's the plan anyway. I've Sleeping Beauty drafted, like an early draft that I wrote a few years ago, so I'm going to rewrite that because that had a very similar world building as well. I have Cinderella, sort of ideas for it. I have Beauty and the Beast, also ideas for it. I have Rapunzel, also a few ideas. I was thinking The Little Mermaid and Mulan and Hansel and Gretel and all that sort of stuff, but the more I write these books in these series, I think the more ideas will come to me, so the easier it will be to start writing more books. But yeah, so I'll keep you guys posted as always, and thank you for listening and watching my video, and yeah, please go and check this out. And as I said, if you do, please leave a review, because it is much appreciated. I think if you leave 50 reviews on Amazon or something, it gets boosted, so that would be good. And I'm still waiting. I'm still trying to boost my Still Princess, so if you want to do that as well, that would also be awesome. But yeah, thank you guys for listening as always, and I'll talk to you later.